Hey, everybody. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 343 for November 27th, 2019. My name is Russell Frost, and I am your host into this week's adventure in the exciting worlds of sustainable mobility and perpetual energy. No, wait, I reversed those, didn't I? But, high-tech travel. That's us. Seriously. It's a little rainy here, so forgive me if I'm out of sorts. Let me introduce the rest of the panel, who will undoubtedly be incisive, logical, rational, passionate, whereas I'm just kind of an idiot. My friend in Canada, Southern Ontario, where he says the weather is mild and wonderful, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
You know what show you're on, right, Russell?
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. What show is this again? Do we get paid to do this?
I don't think so. Or if we are, I've been missing out.
That explains my pretty horrible work attitude, and otherwise, yeah.
Welcome to the show, folks. We've got a few interesting topics for tonight's program, and a What Drives a sticker for anybody that writes in with a positive comment. Oh, and Mr. Casey Green's getting collapsed upon.
There we go. That's not good. Well, since he obviously needs some attention, our friend in the Mid-Atlantic region, and that may look like a photo enlarger, but no, that's a very expensive Yeti microphone. Mr. Casey Green.
Hello, everybody. Got yet another poster on the wall. Got the Roadster.
There we go. And that's it's at etsy.com/EV posters.
Yes, I think it was /shop/EV posters.
Yeah. And Casey will probably mention that in his plug, but
yeah, people
making art deserve credit.
Absolutely. He did these by himself, and then you get prints of them.
There you go. Last and definitely not least, my technical guru. He is the owner and founder of Boulder Hybrids, Mr. Paul Guzik. Wait, I understand the snow there was 3 beer cans deep.
Oh, it was 23 inches yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Those are some big beer cans.
I have a friend from Boulder on Twitter, and he said, we've got 3 beer cans of snow so far.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of work got done in Boulder yesterday because no one could get out of their house. But freak snowstorm, but it's starting to melt, so that's good. And unlike Mark, none of us have to go to work tomorrow, so...
Oh, that's true.
So buried in, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
It does not matter.
The advantage of being an American, Mark.
So Paul, with the holiday tomorrow, do you really think it's a holiday, or do you live in between? Like, do you celebrate the Canadian and the American? Do you get 2 holidays a year?
I do. Well, I work on the Canadian Thanksgiving, but I celebrate it.
There we go.
Yeah. Family over,
Excellent.
Wow.
And with the temperature today, what's the temp during the day today? What did you get up to?
Today it got sunny, so it got probably just below freezing, but it felt warmer because it was sunny.
Yeah. But that's a lot of snow to get rid of that quickly. Like that's a tremendous amount of snow. It would take a long time to melt, I would imagine, even at like close to freezing.
Yes, but around here, like in a couple of days, it'll probably be 65, and it will start to melt pretty fast.
Okay.
So we don't get like long winters, like we get little short winters with springs in between, and it kind of cycles. That's how the weather is here. But it really screwed up Thanksgiving travelers because the Denver airport is a major airport, and over 500 flights were canceled yesterday. So
it was 50
degrees. That was making a mess. Yeah.
Anyway,
wow.
Let's talk about cars.
You want to talk about some cars?
And frickin' trucks.
Yeah. Trucks with trunks?
Ugly trucks.
With
I'll give you that.
We don't even know. I'm gonna just not let's stick to the topic. So first up, and forgive me, okay? I'm gonna be a little hypocritical here, okay? I'm gonna be right up front about it. I loathe quoting Electrek. I hate it. I hate using them as a source. I never do if I don't have to, but I have to admit, Mr. Bradley Berman wrote a story for Electrek that is compelling. At least. It was an interview with Jack Hollis, who is the sales and marketing chief for Toyota US. I have met Jack a couple of times. He's a good guy, and I'm going to talk about him in maybe some strident terms, but I don't mean this to be personally. It means that we disagree professionally on where we're at on this particular issue. Apparently, Toyota had a roundtable discussion with some journalists behind the scenes at the LA Auto Show last week. Mr. Berman was there and wrote up an interview and transcribed some of his thoughts from what he heard. And one of the lines from Jack Hollis, quote, "We're continuously working on EV entries, but right now there's no demand." Which everyone at Tesla shit themselves when they heard that. They're like, what are we doing? We're kidding ourselves. There's no demand for EVs. All the Leaf owners, all the Bolt owners in the world went, what? Are we crazy? It's sort of like, when I read this, I kept getting these visions of like a flat earther, or like the moon launch was a hoax kind of thing.
They left a word off the quote. There were no demand for Toyota EVs. Which
again is totally untrue.
Yeah, that's also totally untrue. The Prime is doing great.
We both personally know there were. Is it enough to sustain? I don't know, but there were thousands of Toyota owners, if not more, who desperately wanted to buy a Toyota EV. Toyota does not make one.
I converted my Prius to have more EV range because I wanted one. They didn't do it.
I don't want to. Did anybody else read this? Did you guys have any specific thoughts? I don't want to
look through that. I mean, that's retarded. I mean,
oh, Jack, I'm sorry.
I wonder, reading this and then reading the other comments from other Toyota executives, they just seem to be all over the board. Like is Jack the only one that is upset with EVs and believes they shouldn't be on the road, or does Toyota spin a wheel inside and it lands on positive or negative comments about EVs? Because it's so much different views and information that comes out of the top brass at Toyota that you don't know if they're serious or if they're lying to us or if they're just completely off base with everything. I just don't get it. Like, you would think there would be a uniformed, this is what we believe with EVs, this is the road we're going, but people are free to take the road wherever they want.
At the VP level, they should all be singing the same story, right?
Yeah, I don't get why it changes so rapidly. We get a great good news story from Toyota when it comes to EVs, and then this comes out, and it's like completely wipes out the good news story and says, I don't know what they were talking about, but we don't believe in them. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. But they all believe in, like, hydrogen bullshit.
Well, they all believe in hydrogen because they're getting paid by the Japanese government, but left hand, right hand on the plug-in stuff.
Like, just with one manufacturer, just with looking at what Tesla's doing, why wouldn't somebody say, there's a market, there's people that want it, and there's people that will line up and pay for it? Why would we not jump into that fray? Yes,
I think so. In most corporate structures, it's not one person's vision. It's not one person, a single leader setting the path, saying this is how things are going to work. And I might be talking about Tesla. I might be talking about any number of companies. But what I've seen at Toyota, and I don't have any inside information here. I'm not, telling anything out of school. But what I've seen at Toyota is that it is a very collaborative structure. There's a lot of factors playing into this. Number one, so it depends on which faction. The EVs are cool and maybe someday we'll make one, or the EVs are not the future and what the hell are you thinking? The hydrogen fuel cells are the future and we're going to charge full speed ahead at this. We're still the market leader in producing clean transportation that's cleaner than anybody else's fleet. All these factions kind of vie for control. Also, keep in mind, Toyota USA is like a customer.
Yeah.
Toyota Japan is the parent company, and they're not. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not a parent company. They're an auto producer that Toyota USA buys from. Now, Toyota USA, as one of their biggest customers, certainly has an influence, but they don't necessarily get to go do this, do this, do this.
And then you've got Southeast Toyota, which is like a whole nother company.
SCT, yeah. Well, so this, the nomenclature has changed. It's TMNA is the U.S. company now. It's Toyota Motors North America. TMC, Toyota Motor Corporation, is the Japanese company. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it's just the difference in the markets, the difference in perceptions, which is significant because Japan's a different place. They have a whole different geography, a whole different structure. And none of this makes excuses for what Jack said. I disagree with it vehemently.
Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Why is Jack preaching this in California, land of the EVs?
Because he doesn't have a choice. I won't speak for him, but I mean, he's, in my personal opinion, Jack Hollis is giving out the Toyota Party line, which is, we're a green company. We make lots of clean cars, more than anybody else. We have the highest fleet MPG, except for Tesla. So don't talk to us about we're not green enough. We're going to make EVs and then that's where it gets ugly.
Yeah.
That's where it gets ugly. That's when the excuses start like, what? I'm sorry, there's no demand for EVs. Well, somebody's making them and selling them. Now, maybe there's no demand at a price you feel that you need to sell them at to make money. And I suspect it's probably more of that than anything else.
Well, they should say that. Oh, they're too expensive.
I agree
nobody wants
completely.
them.
But they won't say that.
We don't think we can make the margins we want on EVs right now.
Right.
Like, say
you
that.
Can't do it profitably.
Because there's demand. It's just, it's got to work for the consumer and for the manufacturer.
We don't sell $70,000 cars that don't burn hydrogen.
And then this statement comes out as they're releasing the RAV4 plug-in.
Right, which is
what are you doing? You're trying to sabotage it?
Also the Chinese Lexus plug-in.
Right. All of the new UX full EV.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Guess what? It's confusing. And that makes for a horse race in some ways. I don't appreciate it, and I would rather hear a unified party line that said Toyota's going to move forward on battery EVs, like they said 6 months ago when they introduced that whole line of electric cars that were going to be here by 2025. But periodically, there's always one Toyota executive at least that stands up and says something terrible about electric cars.
Yeah,
always. All the time I've been dealing with this, there's one person. It's a different cast.
It's the same one, yeah. Exactly.
It's a different character, but get up and go, oh, nobody wants EVs. That's why we're not making them. Really? Okay. It made me sad, and I want Toyota to be better.
Meanwhile, like Volkswagen's going full steam on EVs, and pretty much every other company, So, well, we'll see what happens in the market. Well,
and this Chelsea Sexton has made this point a million times. So Chelsea, one more time for you. EVs are the only product that car manufacturers say we'll make them when there's a demand. Yeah. Everything else, they're like, fuck it, we're going to make this. Okay. And you're going to like it, and we're going to market it, and we're going to spend billions on marketing it.
We're going to make EVs, a pickup truck with two seats and a convertible top and a tonneau cover that's difficult to remove that nobody's ever asked for. Yeah. We're going to make a car with pods for front wheels.
Or a Pontiac Aztec.
We're going to give you the Pontiac Aztec.
Oh, we'll get to the Aztec. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I spill something there?
How about mobility pods for the elderly Japanese? But we're going to sell it in North America. That's Toyota again.
Well, enough. Toyota kicking. Not that they don't deserve it, but sorry guys. Mark has a story about an exciting EV that no one wants.
Well, that nobody asked for.
No one asked for. Yeah, that's fair too.
Well, recently, of course, the 2021 Ford Mach E Mustang was revealed with much fanfare by Ford. And this vehicle, at this point, after about 9 days, apparently the first edition, which is one of the different configurations that they'll be making for the 2021 season, is already sold out. Mm-hmm. So that shows that we have at least a number of people that are putting down a $500 deposit and taking up those spots. Now, Ford said when they were releasing the car that they were going to make about 50,000 of these vehicles in the first year. But what wasn't said was how they were dividing up the different models or editions of the vehicles, one being what they're calling the first edition.
First edition, yeah.
So we don't really know.
There's 10 first editions.
Right. We don't know if there's 10 first editions or 2,500 first editions, 25,000. We don't know. We don't know what the number is. But the website is now preventing you from putting your deposit down towards that particular model. So there is another 2 models that you can put your money towards, I believe, or 1. Anyways,
yeah, there's a premium and a GT.
So since we don't have the breakdown, we really don't know what the number is. It would be interesting to know what the number is for the first edition.
There is no demand for EVs. Right?
Well, apparently Toyota has not seen this article. Someone maybe should forward this to Jack so he could see that maybe he should look outside of his bubble, because yes, there is people asking for them and actually putting money down on them.
And how many people gave a deposit on the Fugly truck?
Well, at this point, it's 250,000 people.
Yeah, so there's no demand.
Yeah,
it's 250,000 people want to put money on a really ugly vehicle.
Yeah.
And
so my dad was going to get in line on this Mach E, and then he found out that they were just going to shunt him off to a dealership, and that the dealership wasn't beholden to anything other than $500 off whatever the deal came to be. Yeah, so then he decided not to give them any money. He might still get the car, but he said, well, what's the point of getting in line? And I said, exactly.
Right, especially...
Well, he read the fine print further, and he said, they're not even guaranteeing me that I'll be first at that dealership.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, and especially, who knows if the dealership then's going to be like, well, we know it's a $69,000 version, but
we've done a market adjustment.
Right, there's a market adjustment, and it's $75,000 now.
Yes, here's your $500 off.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a kick in the stomach after you waited a period of time?
Yeah, I've tried to convince him to get the Model Y, but
and that is one of the things with the franchise dealers. They can sell for whatever they want in their market.
Right.
Market will pay over list. They can sell it for that.
And we know with something like this, potentially there's that market.
Yeah. But at least the dealers are protecting us.
Yeah. They're protecting us from our money. Here, give me that money. I'll hold that. You don't want to hold that. We need that money.
I am so glad that the dealer network out there is protecting us from manufacturers. It just makes so much sense.
So his current plan is to wait for it to drop and then shop around. That way, whenever it's not a crush, he can get one of the dealers to give him a deal. And I was like, yeah.
What case did you know what drew your father to that particular car? Is it because it's a Ford? Is it because it's a Mustang?
No, he's not a Ford guy. I think it might be because it's a Mustang. It might be something about
he always wanted a Mustang and never had one, and now he can get a Mustang and impress his son that it's an EV Mustang.
Hey, Tesla just sent me an email that the EV tax credit is expiring soon.
It is expiring soon.
Sorry, I didn't mean to change the subject. I literally just got this email.
That was one of the things that he brought up to me, is that the Ford still qualifies for the $7,500, while the Tesla does not.
And so will Toyota if they ever
make a car. If they stop wasting them on primes.
That's not going to happen.
They're using them on primes, right?
Yeah, they are.
Some of the rebate.
I think I'm sort of going off topic, but I think the RAV Prime has a big enough battery to get a bigger tax credit, right?
Yeah, yes. It's got a 17 kilowatt battery.
Yeah. Oh, so it's enough to get all of them. Okay.
Yeah. That's what they did that on purpose, I'm sure.
A couple of reasons, I'm going to guess.
The Prius Prime, you only get like 4,200 on the Federal because it's tiny battery.
Well, hopefully he'll get a Model Y performance.
But this one will get the full, and I believe they're tuning it. I might have heard that they're tuning it more towards performance.
Yeah.
So it should be really spunky, but we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be Tesla spunky.
No.
But
I think they said under 7 seconds.
Yeah, but a 6-second mid-size SUV isn't bad.
And did they put that on the show at the LA Auto Show? Like, did they put it on stage?
That was the cherry red one, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks all right.
Yeah, it's a nice looking car.
I guess I've been spoiled because even the Volt did it in under 6 seconds. So it's like,
Yeah, but they didn't have any Volt dancers. That's the problem.
Well, there you go. There you go.
You said pole dancers?
Pole, yeah. That would have been a better decision for GM if they had pole dancers. Yes.
Yeah, the car company did this product release with pole dancers.
You got this Camaro looking thing, and then a couple years later, it's like it looks like a cruise.
Mark, I'm sorry, I kind of hijacked you. Any other wrap up on the Mach E?
No, again, since we don't know the numbers, we don't really know if this is something to be excited about, that someone jumped all over this, or not. Even if it was divided up evenly, so you'd be looking at 13,000 vehicles if it was divided up 13. No, it'd be more than that. It'd be 16,000 vehicles each. And you've got something that I don't know. Would you guys consider that to be a success if they went through 16,000 vehicles at this point, were sold out after 9 days? Is that a success for Ford?
Yeah. I would say it is. Absolutely.
And they have no track record with EVs of any significant.
Yeah, if you compare it to that Focus or those plug-in hybrids of theirs,
let's not. I mean, if Ford makes 16,000 EVs and sells them next year, I would consider that a success. Now, numerically, is that a market changer? No, of course not. But, the
more choices out there, the more people who will make a choice that's better for all of us.
I mean, the one thing that was smart is they were leveraging the Mustang name and that it instills performance, so their position is not a Focus, it's a performance car. And some of these older sort of baby boomers that never had a Mustang when they were a teenager may go take it for a drive and go, holy shit, this thing is fun to drive. So
yeah, that would be a win if you could get some butts and seats and they understand that an EV has got that type of performance. That would be a win.
Yeah.
There you go.
One other side note to this story is that there is a gentleman in the U.S. That's put together a lawsuit against Ford for naming it a Mustang.
You can sue anyone for anything.
He's suing Ford because they called this EV a Mustang. So
how dare you use your trademark on your car?
It takes all types, I guess. It takes all types.
Well, it's going to affect the value of his Mustang car, right?
Exactly. Yeah. His collection, his barn full of Mustangs.
Crazy. Well, let's talk about something fully crazy, and I want to introduce it by taking a poll of the panel. And my question to you is, the vehicle that we're about to discuss, what you know about it right now, on a 0 to 100% scale, 100% being totally, absolutely, exactly as presented, 0% being it's going to be a pink tricycle. What do you think the reality of this product will finally reflect versus what we were introduced last week?
I would say that we're going to make sure it's going to be road legal. They might smooth off some of the edges. I don't know that they will round them, but they might make them a little less sharp. And some of the features will be fleshed out, and some of them will move into packages. And others, they will pretend they never said it.
That's not a numerical answer, Mr.
So I would say we're going to see north of 85% of what we saw.
I'm writing this down.
Okay.
KC, 85%. Paul Guzik.
80%.
Oh, really?
The reason I say that is when you look back at the other 4 vehicles and how much they've changed from when they first showed them to us, it wasn't, except for the beta Model S, there wasn't really that much change between them.
Mr. Coughlin.
I go 85.
Wow.
So if it's anything less than 80, I win, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say 65%.
All right.
Okay.
But then if it's 65 and it looks different, or are you saying that the shape is going to be the same?
That's where it breaks down as a judgment tool. So obviously we're talking about the Tesla Cybertruck,
right?
The Blade Runner inspired 30 times cold rolled steel. What the hell does that mean? No, actually Casey was nice enough to explain it in the Tesla Life. It means that it's been cold rolled 30 times.
Versus hot stamped.
Yeah. So
they start out with a big, thick piece of steel, and they keep squeezing it and squeezing it.
Maybe. So according to Tesla, this makes the steel stronger.
Is it like cutting heroin? They just.
So the dictionary definition is in metallurgy of metal having been rolled into sheets while cold, resulting in a smooth, hard finish.
A smooth, hard finish. Oh, there you go. So the Tesla Cybertruck, it was rolled out. It's going to come in at least 3 basic iterations, starting at 39, going up to 69, depending on whether you want 1, 2, or 3 motors and all of that. It's going to have a huge amount of range, in some cases, crazy, ridiculous range. It's going to be very fast when you get into the tri-motor version. It is in my opinion, this is the most concept-y design that Tesla's ever released as this is what your next vehicle is going to look like. I looked at the Model 3 and I went, that's what the Model 3 is going to look like. I looked at the S, the X, that's what that's going to look like. And it more or less did. This, I'm not getting this at any level.
They only had one, right? Like when they broke the window, they had to go fix the windows before they give test drives in it.
Yeah.
They only have
And that one is 2 weeks old.
They had a clay model on stage as well.
3 weeks old now. Yeah, the clay one, but clay doesn't count.
Right.
That screams concept car, not close to production.
I don't know if it screams anything more than what the Model Y and the Model 3 were. Besides, the 3 had 2 cars that were working. One was a model.
Yeah.
With the Model Y. I think they had 2 running as well,
and one non-functional.
So is it any different?
I would say this screams them getting their homework done right when the teacher is calling for you to hand it in.
I would say, I think reasonable people can come to different conclusions, but again, watching those debuts for those other vehicles, I went, yeah, okay, they can build a car like that. Okay, they've already admitted they don't know how to fabricate the steel into this shape. They had to perforate the back of the sheets to get the sharp corners that they got. They've already admitted that. They don't even know how they're going to build the body. They don't have the machines yet.
They're going to laser etch the ones they've got and fold them. So the only difference is how they made the cuts and how they're going to get a machine to do it quickly. And if the numbers are going to come in exactly where Elon expected them to. So hopefully they don't, end up being too expensive. Because
go ahead, Mark. I can see you bottling up.
250,000 of them to make already. But regardless of how done it is, this was not a Bet the Company car like the Model 3 was, like the Model X kind of was, like the Model S definitely was, and the Roadster. If those 3 main cars, the Roadster, the Model S, and the Model 3 had not worked, they wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be talking about them. But if this car had been a complete flop and nobody had ordered one, he said they would make another one that was more appealing. That doesn't scream that
this truck is what will be sold. What we saw on the stage, it's going to be damn close to that. Yes, it might have some mirrors. Yes, there may be different tires on it, but this Stainless steel, weird-looking triangle mobile will be what they sell. Yeah. This is what they're going to sell.
Yeah.
And you're right, Russell.
Yosemite Sam mud flaps?
It may have mud flaps. It may not.
Might not need them.
But when Russell says that it's the most concept-y vehicle he's seen in a Tesla, yeah, it is. It's a complete departure from anything they've designed to this point, which is not a huge repertoire. It's what, 4 cars, 5 cars?
Right.
Like this is not a company. This is not a company that has, has decades of designs. This has come out of left field, and Elon, in his tweets, has said many times, this is going to be polarizing. This is not what you expect. This is going to look different. People are going to hate it. People are going to love it. And he's already said this. And what he showed us, man, that covered it exactly. There were people hating it immediately, and there were people loving it immediately. Yeah. This is what they're going to sell. This is what they're going to attempt to sell.
Yeah, and the bit about the mirrors, I mean, anything that they've built from scratch, what they showed off first to us, it never has mirrors on it. From the Model S to the semi-truck. Nothing has had a mirror on it.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the weeds on it. It doesn't have mirrors. The headlights aren't legal. The tires aren't. I mean, and I get it. But there's going to be tweaks. But I'm talking about an 18-foot-long stainless steel truck. Okay? I'm not talking about a sedan with 4 doors. Look.
He's always said this was going to be a work truck. This was going to hold 6 people. This was going to have a serious suspension system. This was going to have the ability to run your pneumatic tools. It's going to have the ability to plug in your electric tools. This is going to be a work truck, and that's what this is.
You put under
like when you talk about a stainless steel exterior, talk about low maintenance. You don't give a hoot what happens to the exterior of the truck because it's basically indestructible. People can whack the door all day long, and it doesn't matter that there's a little dent in the side because this thing is going to prevent that. Like like you'd be taking this thing to a mall on a Saturday afternoon, parking it in with the other cars and going, I dare you to hit it. Go ahead.
The steel is freaking heavy. I mean.
Yeah, he said right now the doors are at 80 pounds, and they wanted to make them, instead of 3 mils, he wanted to make them 5, but then the doors have been over 100 pounds each, and so he had to back down from that.
Does anybody know anything about DeLorean?
Yeah.
A little bit.
The other company that made stainless steel cars?
Yeah.
They successful.
No. I don't want to go there. I'm talking about the actual production of stainless steel. You know that most of the ones in private collections now that still exist have all been clear coated because the stainless steel develops a patina. Patina is a nice way of saying tarnishes. No, not rust, but it changes color. It loses its brightness. Okay. So most of the current owners in the museums have clear coated them. They have to.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that Tesla might not apply some kind of finish or anything like this, but again, just like the brushed steel in and of itself isn't necessarily maintenance free.
Gotcha.
Well, I've heard from people that own DeLoreans that have said the car is basically, the exterior is indestructible. It'll last forever. Some people claim that you can just clean it with Windex and a cloth. You don't need any polishes.
Yeah, SOS.
SOS would leave if it's a steel wool, and like that's not a good idea. But basically, they say you can buff out even a scratch with like a Scott's extra abrasion pad.
I've heard that you can fix a lot of stuff with it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know directly any DeLorean owners. I've done a lot of reading, and I know, so and that's what I've read.
Yeah.
From reliable sources. One thing that really irritated me, and I know this is a really little thing, so whatever. You guys can fight about it if you want or not, but so the hubris, the arrogance of dismounting a gas motor from a Yamaha ATV and slapping something in it and running it up the back of the bed of your brand new truck and saying, look, we got an ATV too. The arrogance of that, like the idea that we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this. And as I said on the Tesla Life, this is from a guy who said Tesla will never make a motorcycle. ATV, not a motorcycle. Okay, fine, whatever. I get it, but it kind of galls me because they don't have the plans for an electric ATV.
No, it's window dressing on the truck. Is what it is.
It's solar tile. Look, this exists. Oh wait, no, it doesn't.
But it's also a thing to gauge people as to what they're excited about. If this is an option, that the public wants, this could be another facet of the business. This could be someone in Tesla saying, this is our perfect opportunity to try this out. It's a nice accessory for the truck, even just for the unveil. It's impressive. Why would we not try it and gauge what the customer response is? Perfect opportunity to do so.
I guess.
As I said on the Tesla Life, the only thing that I found weird was that these have a worse record for safety than motorcycles. And he said he wasn't going to make a motorcycle because he had a close call. But I think it's a really cool thing.
I think it's a great thing. Yeah. I wish they'd make a motorcycle. I wish they'd make I hope they make an ATV. I just think it's really like to just roll out a fake one. That's just, I get it. I know it's a sales technique.
So that one, I say, is a 25% chance of showing up the way they said it will. That one, I suspect, will be completely different by the time that we get our option to buy the ATV.
They'll have to make like a wedge-shaped ATV as well.
Yeah, because it looks like on the other one they just put the panels onto, took the plastic off the other one and put on the metal panels.
I'm gonna make a prediction.
Okay.
The roll-up vault door.
Yeah.
That's gonna be this vehicle's version of Falcon Wing doors.
Yeah.
And Elon's gonna regret his Fabergé egg.
Well, he always does something weird with door handles, doors, or glass.
Okay. Glass? Did you mention glass? You
yes.
Did not
mention glass.
So the nuclear-proof glass, that's the windshield that's going in the semi.
Yeah.
Was tested out here in a little impromptu demonstration with a what looked like a steel ball.
Steel ball.
And
a steel billiard ball.
I'm sorry?
Probably a steel billiard ball.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, it looks smaller than the trailer hitch receiver, the trailer hitch that he showed us smacking into the semi last year.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's embarrassing. And you know what? Failures.
I think that was all planned. I mean, they were in every single newspaper, on every news art the next day that their windows broke, and they got lots of free publicity out of that.
I think that was
come back and say, we reformulated, it won't happen again. Look, here's a test. Look, it works now.
Yeah.
We're all good.
I think that was a happy accident.
Yeah.
Happy accident?
Yeah. What's the painter's name again? With the hair? Bob Ross?
Huh?
The painter who has the happy trees. He has happy accidents.
Oh, I'm sorry. The painter on television that does his
little... Bob Ross?
Bob Ross, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think it was a happy accident that it worked out because you could tell in Elon's demeanor and his presentation, like, he shifted after those windows broke. And Franz is like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, go ahead, do it. And he threw the second one, and oh, look, it didn't go through.
I'm telling you, heads rolled really hard, like within minutes at the end of that presentation.
Yeah, but hold on. So, like, within an hour, they had new glass in the doors, right?
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't planned. You're going to roll it. You're not going to have every single part of the car on the shelf ready to fix it if something breaks during the demo.
Yeah, this was probably another engineering sample. Like, either this was not the indestructible glass, or it was another formulation of what it would have looked.
They fixed it within an hour and were giving rides in that same car to people, journalists.
Yeah, because on the other side of the wall is the room where they hand built it.
Yeah, it's not like this was built in a far away place.
The glass panels on the shelf sitting there.
You might have a backup.
Yeah, if this was the B team and they decided they weren't going to use it.
This is the only vehicle you got, and you know you have to drive it. Maybe it's a requirement to have a backup part for every part.
Maybe.
Maybe, but I think it was all.
Which would be another good. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, if it was planned, that was a hell of a plan. Because you're right, they got a ton of coverage.
Oh.
ton of coverage.
More coverage than you could
Yeah.
get an ad on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and if it had gone off without a hitch, they would have got a lot less spotlight, right? So
all the headlines were Tesla's windows smashed or whatever. You know?
Right.
Truck is ugly.
Right.
Window smashed. Otherwise, it would have just been truck is ugly or nothing.
Or nothing. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. But I think the parts on hand thing might actually be a part of it, because the demo truck is a dual motor, not a plaid. The only two plaids we know of are on a ship from Germany, and we've got plenty of dual motors all over the nation already, so we can get spares for those.
How cool was it that they copied Rivion's pop-out kitchen?
Yeah, I love that. One of my favorite features.
I was kind of shocked. Like, wow, this is Tesla following, not leading. Okay, cool. I get it. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, when I thought I was getting a Rivian, I was like, man, I'm going to lose all that space because I want the kitchen. And now I'm not getting a Rivian, so...
It'll be interesting to see which one comes out first.
The Rivian.
We'll see. They haven't produced them yet either.
Lord Motor or whatever.
Yeah, but the Bollinger?
The other truck company.
The Bollinger
workhorse
Lundstrom or something like that.
10% of the Lordstown plant has been purchased from GM. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Lordstown.
Well,
they say they're going to be first.
We know that Rivian has at least 10 prototypes on the road, so they've already got 10 times more prototypes. That we know of.
I don't know.
Who on the panel looked at this truck initially, said you didn't like it, and now a week later you're thinking, well, it's not too bad.
I bought one.
Right? Casey explained that's the case. So yeah. Russell and Paul, you haven't moved your stance on what it looks like.
I mean, it might be cool for off-roading or something, but as a practical vehicle, I don't know. I guess if I see one in real life, maybe I'll change, but right now I still think it's a fugly truck.
I think parking is
I want to. This is kind of a unicornish in my world, and I said that on the Tesla Life. I said it's hard for me. I was going to hold back my opinions and be a little more opinionated on this show, and just talk about objective stuff as much as possible on the Tesla Life. And I don't. Obviously, I said 65%, right? So I'm not a strong believer that really just barely most of what we saw is actually going to make it to the final production vehicle. Now, are they going to shorten it? Is it going to be a different material? Will the metal be different? I mean, I get that it'll probably look like it in a lot of ways. And I don't have a problem with the styling. This just doesn't.
But it's very like 80s square type car style.
Very.
Like the Toyota MR2. Remember that little sports car? It was all square angles, no curves on it.
It's an Aztec.
Yeah, it's an Aztec.
I mean,
Aztec with a bed.
And we laugh, right? But and that's not necessarily bad, because you know what? I'll admit, I thought the Aztec design was cool. Do I ever want to own one? Hell no. But I like things.
Cool.
Yeah, I like things that have a personality. So I mean, there's certain aspects to this truck, Mark, I think getting back to that appeal to me. I'm not believing that I can make a judgment on this vehicle until I see something that is more provable, closer to production. That's all.
I did like the Aztec way better than the Buick, whatever the Buick one of it was.
Enclave.
Not the Enclave. It got canceled when the Aztec got canceled.
There was even an Oldsmobile one too, I think.
Yeah, that was even worse than the Buick.
Yeah, it's interesting that this truck, which we were told would be very polarizing, bang on the money. It is.
I wasn't ready. Yeah. He said it would be polarizing.
It's something that invokes people to strong emotion, hate, love. But I found myself looking at it over and over and over, and except for the back end, I'm starting to like it. Like it's changed my thought. But I'm like that with anything, though. I find that the new idea posted to me, I may not like it at first, but it is, as long as I keep my mind open, I look at it and think about it a little bit more over time, it typically grows on me.
But Mark, like, do you own a pickup truck, or would you ever? I
have owned a pickup truck. It was my first vehicle. I bought a used pickup. But today I have no use for a pickup. I don't have room for a 16-foot pickup, and I don't want a pickup sitting in my driveway all the time. I just don't.
Just want a friend with a pickup when you need to move something.
That's the only time you want a pickup, really. Yeah. But it's but if I had a business, just a business that would require me to drive around town in, I'm thinking that this is a billboard to advertise your business.
The first
you slap a logo on it,
name on it.
Yeah, you slap a logo on this thing, and people will be twisting their heads off trying to see what just passed them. Like it will be incredible attention getter.
Yeah.
So the people that are most pissed off this week are not the people you would suspect.
No.
It's polarizing, yeah.
Oh, yes.
But I think the people that are really, really angry are the people at General Motors who thought they might maybe sort of bring back an electric Hummer and had their hopes dashed before them that an even less practical vehicle has been introduced.
So somebody had a map on my feed, and it showed that the Cybertruck is doing well in exactly the opposite places that the Model 3 is doing well.
How do they know?
Apparently they did some sort of analysis. I haven't read into it yet. Yeah, exactly. So in the middle of the country, pickup truckville, it's doing quite well compared to the way the Model 3 does out there.
How would they have any information on that?
They know that, yeah.
They didn't go into their methods clear enough that I could read it.
Because they would be arrested because they're into Tesla's data. Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, the pre-orders, they're going to track your zip codes.
Yes. Right? Yes. And you can see where the person
but they're not.
It's
only Tesla that would track.
Tesla.
Right?
So either they're getting information from Tesla or they stole it.
Well, I can think of a way I could do it. Like so when people are posting their order screen, if they don't have location turned off, you'll have a tag of what city they're in, and then you just have to. Hopefully your numbers work, but from the map they showed, it looked pretty interesting. I'll have to look into it further to see if it's legit.
Or they just made it up.
Yeah.
They could have also just made it up.
Well, speaking of making things up. Tesla said this week, after previously saying when it came to the Model Y, we don't need to talk about pre-order numbers. It got us into a world of hurt with Model 3, and we're not going to go there on Model Y.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Elon's very happy about the pre-order numbers. 250,000? Is what Tesla's laying claim to. This is a $100 refundable
but it's
deposit.
only $100, not $1,000 like the Model 3.
Right.
$2,500 like the Model Y. I think the reason he went this way is one, when we woke up, the market just slammed his company, and two, to show that yes, it is polarizing, but this is the level of success I see occurring. What I do see happening with this in the future, though, is that when all the analysts start to try to pin him to the wall with the number, he's not going to let that happen like he did with the Model 3.
Right. And how will he avoid that?
He'll just shut him up. Let's go to YouTube.
So you're saying he's just going to avoid it?
Maybe. Yes. I think he's going to avoid it. And maybe Russell. For those on the audio version, Russell's got a sign that says "Stock Pump."
That's the only reason you do that. No one cares. No one cares. No one said, oh my God, 250,000 other people have done this. I need to go do this. There's no frenzy. There's no group marketing. There's no reason to do it other than to put a really good spin on it.
But it does give you social proof, because this, like we said, this is a really polarizing thing, and it takes most people anywhere from overnight to 3 days to come around to it.
$100 refundable deposit.
Right.
No one's going to miss that. Where $1,000, $2,500, that's more of a commitment.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Absolutely. I mentioned this on the Tesla Life, and forgive me for mentioning it again, but I saw at least one person on Twitter, and God knows there's a lot of idiots on Twitter. Thank you. I'm one of them. who said that they had bought 10 pre-orders because they were sure they're going to be valuable and they'd be able to resell them and make a profit.
I think it's going to be just like the Model 3, where if you're not early enough in line, don't do that. This is not a good retirement strategy. If you're not early enough in line, assuming they even let you transfer them, I think that they will come into volume way quicker than you can get rid of them.
It's a good plan for going bankrupt. It's not something that's going to make anybody any money.
Yeah. I don't think so. Well, any final thoughts on Cybertruck?
I can't wait.
I want to see one in person. That's what
Casey,
I really want to see one in person.
Right?
I have a deposit down.
Mark wants to see one in person. Mark, I totally agree with you. I want to see this. I want to drive it. This is the most wild card that Tesla's produced yet, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, yeah, easily.
With their new return policy, if I get this thing in my driveway and it sucks, I can turn it back in before I get 1,000 miles or 7 days.
Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the weirdest looking car from any manufacturer in the last probably 5-10 years. I mean, it's so out there. So
go at 40.
Is it weirder than the PT Cruiser?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, weirder than the Aztec.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's the length, the amazing steel, the 30X steel, and the unbreakable windows, and I'm sure it has biowarfare defense mode.
I hope so. I love that. You go past a pig farm, you hit the button, you don't smell pigs anymore.
Absolutely. It'll have all those.
You go to the pig farm and you put 20 pigs in the back because it's a truck.
Well, you can do that, but so sometimes my wife will get some really odoriferous food because she's from Asia, and
wait, no, you did not just do that on my show.
So she'll eat her hometown food, and it is very odoriferous, and I can't say anything about it because it's comfort food, and it smells. So I hit the button, and then it doesn't smell anymore.
Okay, well, that could apply to any number of things.
So a good example is Tesla Bjorn. Also, his wife likes to eat durian, which I think smells like gasoline. And so he hits the button when she's eating the durian, and it's gone.
It's against the law to eat a durian on the Singapore subway. That gets fined.
Yes.
You will get fined if you eat one on the subway. It's so sticky.
Because if someone's smoking nearby, the whole car goes up in flames.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean I didn't mean ethnically. I mean literally. She is from the continent of Asia.
One other thing I wanted to point out in the truck is that tailgate, which is really cool.
Oh, the tailgate.
It's got a fold-up ramp, which no one's thought of to this point. The ramp goes with you, and of course, all the slots that you see in the bed, those are usable as tie-down spots with movable tie-down. So you can move the tie-down up and down the slots depending on where you want it, lock it down, and then use it as a custom fitted tie-down, which is a very cool idea.
Yeah, very flexible.
Although the GMC, was it Silverado or something, has a pretty cool tailgate thingy with steps in it and all that.
It's got a step deck, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're seeing more of that. I mean, trucks up until recently with Rivian and with the Silverado and some of the other things. I think there's a Raptor that has some kind of cool stuff like that. Trucks have been like this blank slate that all look the same. I mean, it was like a truck. We're not going to, if you need a ramp, go buy a ramp. It's a truck. Now I think the manufacturers are realizing they can jack the price. They can make it look cooler. They can add utility by adding a pop-out kitchen or a weird tunnel storage.
The Honda thing that had like the ice chest in the bed.
Oh, so this truck has got that too.
Okay.
It does.
A built-in cooler?
Yeah. I hope it also has the drain. It's got a sub-trunk.
A sub-trunk under the bed.
Yeah. Well, Honda did that in their pickup years ago.
Yeah.
For tailgating. Yeah. You put all your beers on ice, and then the ice would drain out the bottom, and
There's some cool stuff.
Hey, I welcome all the innovation. I welcome that. I just I'm questioning this. So send your email to me. Don't bother Mark, Paul, or Casey. They're all normal, rational people. Let's do some shout outs to go home, gentlemen. I think we've run a clean show so far.
Sure.
So, Mr. Clean, Casey Green.
All right. So, obviously, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Casey Green, KACEYGREEN. I've got some videos of the recent updates to Smart Summon that Elon promised via Twitter, but did not write in the release notes. And it's quite surprising if you saw some of the first videos of Smart Summon that were out of beta, or at least out of the private beta and into the public beta. So that's worth looking into. And then if you're interested in getting one of these hand-painted, drawn by hand, but prints of the Tesla fleet, you can get them from Eric's EV poster store at Etsy. That's etsy.com/shop/EV posters. He just came out with the Roadster this weekend, and then he's already had the Model S, X, and 3.
There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mr. Coughlin.
Just a shout out to the Waterloo Region EVA. If you're in town or around the area, we're having our Christmas lunch on December 7th, a Saturday. Feel free to send us a note if you'd like to join us. Love to have you out. And our next meeting will be in early January. So look forward to that as well. Let us know if you want to be on the mailing list to get alerts. Thanks very much.
Is there going to be poutine at your lunch?
There could be.
Oh.
Some may order that, Paul, for sure.
Some may. Well, speaking of Paul Guzik, Paul.
I will just say check out my website, boulderh.com, for used cars, mostly hybrids and EVs, although I have a couple of traditional cars. Unfortunately, we've taken in on trade. So buy those.
What's the special for this week?
I've got one RAV hybrid left. I sold one today. So if you want a 2017 RAV hybrid, I got one around 21 and change. So in Boulder, Colorado. Nice car.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And the RAV Prime will be really cool when it comes out.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. And that UX electric, because I love the hybrid so much. As always, I want to thank Michael Mannering for our amazing theme music. Visit him at manthing.com. Visit us on YouTube if you have not already subscribed. And thank you to all 1,128 of you who have. Thank you so much. Please go to youtube.com/whatdrivesus. Hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notifications so that we'll let you know every time we post new content automatically. And we don't even let you know YouTube does, because they won't share your personal information with us. Yeah. Not that we want it, because then we just have to take care of it. Yeah. We're all over social media, facebook.com/whatdrivesus if you are so inclined. If you use Flipboard as a news aggregator, you can go there. Tony and Phil Barclay do a fantastic job putting news together there. So look for What Drives Us. And, of course, on Twitter, at What Drives Us. If you want to say something rude to me on Twitter, I'm at Russell Frost, 2 S's and 2 L's. And you can tell me, don't shake your head at me, Coughlin.
Why would you put yourself out there like that?
Because I don't care. Because I actually enjoy that interaction. Not the pointless stuff. Not the like, you're just a fat idiot. Like, duh. But like, if somebody ever, sometimes people come back and have really interesting and compelling arguments, even if I don't agree with it. Like, okay, I see a different side now. So I'm cool with that. That's the first time I've ever given my personal Twitter account on here. That said, I have 3 times the followers on Twitter that What Drives Us have, so I'm okay with that. Like, I can still wear What Drives Us crew, and I hope so. I want to thank Paul Guzik. I want to thank Mark Coughlin, and I want to thank Casey Green. But most of all, tomorrow in the lower 48, it's Thanksgiving, and I want to thank all of you for watching, for subscribing, for supporting the show. You are the reason all of us are here every week to do it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a very safe Thanksgiving. Please drive carefully. We need every one of you to come back here next week, okay? Thanks, guys. Thank you. Until next week, when you can download us and find out what drives us. Oh, go music. Thank you and good night.